Hi, I'm Jason Rohde at COP15 for the COPCAST. It's really amazing. It's you get the idea of a global village, the real thing. And for example, this amazing delegation of people from Cameroon. They brought a lot of people, and they really gave me a real idea of what all these countries are coming to do here. Not just the ones that are there taking part in the negotiations, but there's this whole other life, that's going on, where all the countries are exchanging, really sharing their knowledge and ideas on how they are doing, what they're doing well, what they could do better. And I find that this delegation from Cameroon really gave me a clear idea of that.
Gracias a todos los medios de comunicación y todos los presentes aquí, jóvenes, mujeres que están honrando con su presencia.
Thanks to all the media outlets that are here honoring us with their presence. I'm here representing the Sacred Cat Waters initiative. That it's an initiative that is taking place in 26 communities in Ecuador and Peru.
I am Harrison Noko. I'm the CEO of the NGO Ajesh, based in Cameroon, with offices in Ghana and in the United States.
And what does this NGO do?
We are into natural resource management, protecting the environment, biodiversity conservation, and we are also supporting communities in improving their livelihoods.
Okay, great. So what are you doing here at COP15?
My interest here at COP15 is to understand what the targets are and what targets will be validated and see how this integrates into the planning documents of my country, because all our activities are there to contribute in the development of our country. So we came here to understand the targets and see how we can also support the government in implementing some of these activities. So when you have first-hand information and you participate in some of the discussions, it makes you more involved and make you more implicated. And as such, it permits you, when you are discussing with the government, also to understand what direction the government is taking and what direction the international community is taking, and how the community can get involved, especially the indigenous people and local communities' rights that are also being taken into account now in all these target decisions. And so we think that it is of absolute necessity for us to be here to see what is happening, and at the same time to also network and make contacts with other organizations, other partners, other development agencies that we have maybe been seeing only on internet and the rest, but to have face-to-face contact with them. And as well, remember, you'll be surprised to understand that this is even the avenue that you have direct access to some of the ministers and some of the government agencies that in the country you can't have access to them.
Right, because they're all here just like any of us, common citizens, if you will.
Yeah.
How do you, so I want to ask you a few things already. I want to ask you how it's going, but also technically, how do you manage to meet these people? You just wait for them as they step out of meetings and you interact with them, or?
I will first of all say that we came here, 3 of us from the organization, and we are here more in diverse ranks to see how we participate in some of the sessions. So we look at the calendar and or the agenda and see the sessions that are taking place and see who are those participating in those sessions, and we'll now look at, okay, during the presentations we follow your presentations, and after the presentations we get in contact with them to get face-to-face discussions and maybe exchange complimentary cards and follow up later on with that.
And how has that been going already? How have those contacts been already going for you?
If I would tell you that it's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. We've been meeting.
It's been how many days already? Like 5, 6, 7 days?
Oh, we were here right from the beginning of the negotiations with the pre-COP meetings that started on the 3rd. So we've been following all of the group discussions and ensuring also how we could, then when the full COP started on the 7th, we've been following some of the side events and also participating in some platform meetings like the ICCA meetings, the the NGO meetings, and also looking at participating also in government medias, in government meetings. But just to say that this is one of the COPs that I've over the years discovered that you have parties doing negotiations and allowing observers to participate, unlike other COPs where it is closed, totally closed. But here I have discovered that some of us observers participate in some of the discussions, and which I think it gives you that sense of belonging. It gives you that sense of inclusiveness. And I want to applaud the Secretary General of the CBD for opening these doors for observers, business and other business opportunities for people to exchange and participate during decision making and also during high level discussions.
Now, I saw in your press conference that you were doing a common press conference with representing the Amazon forest as well. So tell me concretely, you're dealing with the Congo, you're from Cameroon.
Yes.
I met some other people from Cameroon, by the way. You guys have a great delegation.
Yeah.
So tell me more about that concretely, about some of the people that you were doing your press conference with. You're working in common with people all across the world at the Amazon?
Yeah, we have to understand that we have partners in the Amazons and we have partners in Africa, and we happen to have common donors. So these donors bring us together, and and which is more of we see it as a lessons and capacity, lesson sharing and capacity building process, so that we get to understand what is happening in the Amazons, and the Amazons also understand what is happening in the Congo basins and in Africa. And so, but I think the point of convergence is the donor who brings us together.
Oh, that's great, actually. That's just brilliant. And I assume that a lot of what they might be dealing with in the Amazon are problems that you can relate to just as well.
Yeah, when we talk about the indigenous people and local communities, you find them in the Amazons, and you also find them in Africa. And as such, the problems and challenges are the same. But now the difference is the intensity and the approaches in handling some of these challenges. So, and the cultural practices too are different. So we get together, understand what is happening in other regions, and get to see, okay, what worked well, what did not work well, and how do we synergize and reflect and brainstorm on solving some of the challenges, especially the rights of the indigenous people and local communities.
Yeah, because dealing with the indigenous people, if you don't really, it's like you're not really making any headway, because it's not being integrated into the culture, any of these real changes. Is that the way you look at it, or is it more about something else?
I want to say that there is a lot of advocacy going on in integrating the indigenous people and local communities in some of these spaces, and it is gradually getting grounds. And despite the fact that at a point we may say it's not really very effective, but I think it's better. We've started, and I think it will gain more grounds. It's just a matter of time.
What's the importance of it, in your opinion?
The importance of it is because the local communities see that they need to be involved, because they are the people who live in the biodiversity hotspots. We're talking about biodiversity. We're talking about forests, primary forests, and it is not those big guys living in air-conditioned office in the big cities that are taking care of the biodiversity. They are those instead destroying the biodiversity for their interests. So the indigenous people who are protecting the biodiversity and the ecosystems need to be part of the discussions, such that they share their experiences, and decision makers will take informed decisions based on the realities on the ground.
Oh, great! You've put that so well. One last question. I'm very curious to know what's your life like day to day. I mean, we can see how you're working here with people, you're networking here with people. But when you go home to Cameroon, or when you're traveling to the Congo or other African countries, what's your job like? What's your day to day like? How does this work here translate to the real world?
It may be of interest for you to understand that my background is forestry. and community development. And my day-to-day job is ensuring that I render service to people in harmony with their environment. And so any activity that has to do with nature protection, I'm passionate about it. And I'm not just doing it because it's a job, and that is the only job I do. I work with an NGO, I don't do any other job. So protecting nature, defending the environment, defending community access rights to land and natural resources is my day-to-day job.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for your time. This has been great.
I'm Priscilla Song, the Communication Officer for the Ministry of Environment, the super focal point for Cameroon.
From Cameroon?
From Cameroon, yeah.
And you arrived the day before yesterday? Or?
I arrived yesterday.
Oh yeah, how is it so far?
Oh, it's good, quite good here with rich exchanges. I've met some people, some contacts. We have an exhibition stand there where you find Cameroon's rich biodiversity, because we are blessed with a variety of different plants, medicinal plants, non-timber forest products, and all what you have, beautiful stuff you have in the Cameroon stand. We have a very big stand, and we're trying to capture and showcase to the public what we've been blessed with and how we can take care of what we've been blessed with.
That's it. That's why you're here, to represent this.
To represent, showcase, exchange with other countries.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we exchange in terms of best practices. How do you do? What do you do to conserve this rich biodiversity in your country?
Look here.
Who are those on board? Because in Cameroon we have the youth highly represented here too.
Oh yeah?
The Little Angels of the Environment Cameroon, the Global Youth Biodiversity Network. We have women, we have the government, all of them as around the Cameroon exhibition stand, showcasing the different aspects. We have the three different focal points: focal point for biodiversity, we have the focal point for access and benefit sharing, we have the biosafety focal points. All these focal points are here in their different capacities and trying to showcase and to exchange with other countries how they do and what they do to preserve our rich biodiversity.
So that you can share your knowledge and also learn.
We share, and then we learn, we exchange, we see what the other countries are doing, and we learn from them. We equally have some youth here with us. The youth from Cameroon, we have the Global Youth Biodiversity Network. This is a huge delegation from Cameroon.
Wow.
And here we have Rosine, we have Cindy, we have Adrian. All of them are from Cameroon, and they have been participating in different youth groups, exchanging with other groups. So maybe you want them to say something about their experience this morning in particular. We have our environment and health expert. We have the executive secretary for the Little Angels of the Environment, and we have a member here. So maybe they want to say something to.
Why are you here?
We're here for COP15 in Montreal to participate with other youths, to bring up new ideas and learn from the experiences of other countries, to be able to see the new, the way to implement the new ideas brought up by the states in COP in our various countries.
Oh, well, that's so perfectly expressed. Yeah. How about yourself? Do you feel could you add to that, or has she said it all?
Well, to throw more light to what she said, we want to, since it's biodiversity, we want to learn from other youths from other parts of the world on how the way forward, what are they going to do in where they come from to preserve life, to treat what we eat, the quality of the air we breathe, and I'm trying to find words to make a balance at the level of the plants, the water we consume, and all of that, to preserve life and to prevent extinction.
The the focus on youths at COP15 is the fact that most of the time youths are underlooked. We are not considered when making key decisions in preservation of life or anything, whereas we are the majority of the population. So youths being present at COP now makes us to be part of the decision process, of taking decisions, and puts us more in a place to take action. And given that youths are majority, is going to ensure more work done in the years to come and more preservation of life, because we are going to preserve it for our generations that to come.
Wow. Yeah, and you feel that it's happening. You arrived yesterday already, and
Yeah.
are you already finding that it's a worthwhile trip?
Yes, we had several talks from people from India, from the Caribbeans, and from other places, and they're telling us about the reality that they face in their environments, and they proposed solutions as well to see how to get funding, to be able to have ways to talk to our governments, and to be able to get ways to promote the change that we need in our societies.
We need most of these plants and all these, things that have to do with biodiversity. So I just feel like coming here to learn and gather experience and taking back to my continent will be very helpful to us there. I could, try to start from minor and hopefully go major in the aspect of development in our continent.
You said that it's not going so well in your home country?
Yes, because
Tell me more.
you see, we look at the whites, the Europeans as gods, because you have big buildings and all those stuff. But I personally feel like biodiversity is more important, because why? Something like trees bring out trees are used for shelter and bring out nature. Nature in general brings out the beauty of this earth more than buildings and the rest. But in that same aspect, like I said, I don't have much to say. I just want to learn and gather experience. Yes.
Well, you've already said a lot, and I thank you so much.
Yeah. Welcome.
You have such an amazing group. I'm so glad I ran into you. So you're bringing me to your booth.
Yes.
So every country has a booth or organization?
I don't know about the others. I can only talk about Cameroon. We have a very big, beautiful stand here. And as we're moving, you can see our colors are just like evident here. Cameroon, so welcome to the Cameroon exhibition stand. Cameroon.COP15. This is our stand. And with us in the stand, you have, as I told you before now, we have this non-timber forest products. This one's, with the scientific names. You have this.
Wow. Okay, so you
have this. Can you just hold it for him to see?
So when we talk about sharing, yeah, I got it.
Yes,
Great.
access and benefit sharing. Cameroon is endowed, rich in biodiversity. If you see, what we have here is just, and I can say maybe 1% of what we have in the forests, because we have a rich variety in Cameroon. They're spicy, they're plants, medicinal, and then you have this one which is very interesting, bitter cola. Have you ever seen it?
Yes,
Cola
I think
nuts.
so.
Bitter and very, very good. Medicinal. Yes, and then I know the scientific name, I can't vouch for the names, but for the bitter cola is Jacina cola. And when you look behind, you'll see our beautiful poster there with the variety of what you find in Cameroon. You have...
So not every country, but you've come to share all this.
Yes.
And this is the best way you can present it, really.
This is the best way we can present it, because we couldn't take a sample of everything to bring here.
Of course.
But I mean, you move, they say the world is a small village.
Yeah. So this goes on all day. You have people
Yes.
from different
organizations. It's open. It's for the general public.
Yeah.
They can visit. Some come. What is interesting is some really want to chew this. When you say it's medicine that everybody wants to have.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
I really appreciate it. Can you give me your name one more time, just so I have it?
I am Priscilla Song, the Communication Officer for the Ministry of Environment.
Of Cameroon.
Cameroon, sure.